Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to finish up the sensation side of our sensation and perception unit by looking at smell and taste. So let's go ahead and get started here with smell. I want you just to think for a second, what are all of your favorite smells? What are the ones that evoke strong memories, maybe from childhood, growing up, different seasons, different times of year? And think about which smells and which tastes you can most easily bring to your mind. Smell is what is known as a chemical sense. That's because molecules in the air actually carry the smells themselves. And when you take a deep breath in and take in all of those smells, all of those different molecules are going to the top of your nasal cavity where you have receptor cells. And these receptor cells are going to respond selectively to different scents that you are experiencing. So it's a pretty straightforward process. When you can smell something, whether it's brownies or roses, a skunk or perfume, those molecules are actually traveling up into your nose. Your nasal cavity then contains all of the different receptors that those molecules can connect to. And different size molecules will land on different receptors. And different combinations of receptors is what creates the unique smells that we experience. Think about it like different combinations of letters can create different words. So these different receptors combined together will create different smell sensations. Once they attach to the receptors, this information is then going to go up into your brain via the olfactory bulb. So the big thing to remember about smell is that the molecules will attach to receptors according to size. There are not specific receptors for specific odors. Instead, different receptor combinations are what cause us to experience the different odors that we do smell. And once this information is passed to our olfactory bulb, this information goes up to the brain. And this information is going to go to our temporal lobe right next to our limbic system. And if you think about what's in our limbic system, our hippocampus, our amygdala, it might make sense that smells are very strongly linked to memories and emotions. Different smells can evoke different memories and different emotions for us. But you might be asking yourself, maybe you should, what brain part is missing from this transduction process? And this is the only sense that bypasses the thalamus. All other senses travel to the thalamus before ending up in their final destinations, except for the sense of smell. The sense of taste, for example, does go to the thalamus, and there are 5 different taste sensations that we can experience. You're probably familiar with 4 of them: sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, but the 5th, umami, or savory, is a more recently discovered taste sensation. So these are the 5 tastes that you want to be familiar with. Why do we taste these 5 on our tongue? Evolutionary psychologists think that it has to do with survival, that things that are sweet and salty often indicated in early human history foods that were good for us, that were going to be energy sources and help with the physiological processes in our body, whereas things that were sour and bitter could be potentially poisonous. And umami, that savory sensation, indicates proteins that help grow and repair muscle and tissue. So all of the different taste sensations seem to have a specific purpose. Of course, things have evolved over time, and now we can eat things that are both sweet and sour, and it might not be harmful for us. So when you taste your food, this information is landing on your tongue. And those bumps on your tongue that you may have referred to in the past as taste buds are actually not taste buds themselves. The buds exist within those bumps, and there are many, many buds within one single bump on your tongue. They are nests of taste receptor cells, and they will take this information up into your brain. So one bump on our tongue can contain up to 200 or more taste buds. And these nerve cells will take this information to our thalamus and again to our temporal lobe. Smell and taste are closely linked in a variety of ways, including where they are located in the brain and their connection to memories and emotions. Now, what we think tastes good comes down to a variety of different circumstances. Everything from personal differences, genetics, cultural differences, and food attractiveness all play a role in what we think tastes good. If you've ever burned a tongue, you know not to worry about it. We reproduce these buds about every 2 weeks. If you're getting older though, you might have less buds and less sensitivity. If you drink and smoke a lot, which hopefully none of you do, but people that do have a decrease in buds and sensitivity. And so why do we care about these different taste buds and how they transduce information? In today's society, not all food that we eat is necessarily natural. And so scientists care to understand these things because they can create new foods like low-calorie hot fudge sundaes, for example, that taste very appealing to us, and so people will buy them and consume them. And smell and taste are linked in other ways as well, in a concept known as sensory interaction. You know, if you've ever had a cold and your nose was plugged, you might not be able to taste your food as well either. The smell of the food and the taste of the food work together to help us to understand what it is that we're experiencing when we're eating different foods. So that's it for sensation, and that's it for smell and taste. The big things to remember is that these are our chemical senses, that the sense of smell goes straight into the brain without stopping at the thalamus, that different size odor molecules attach to different receptors, and the different combinations create the different smells we experience. With taste, it's those 5 taste sensations, and it goes to the thalamus and then to the temporal lobe. And that's it for sensation. In our next video, we will dive into perception. How do we make sense of this information coming to us from all of our different senses? Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember, be kind to your mind.